What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 3 of Let's Talk Sonic, your favorite Sonic podcast. How do I know it's your favorite? Because it has to be. It has to be. My word is law, and it will be. We're back at it with another episode, and I'm actually really excited to delve into today's topic. And as usual, I got my friend here, Gamebox.
Hello, it's me, Gamebox here. How are y'all doing?
Yep, and today, we're going to be talking more about Sonic the Hedgehog. You guys know who Sonic the Hedgehog is, right? He's a famous video game character. It's about a blue, speedy hedgehog who runs fast and clowns on a obese dude. It's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat series that both me and Gamebox are huge fans of. So yeah, I hope all of your days are going well. If it's nighttime, I hope your night's going well. You just had a fantabulous day. If you didn't, hopefully the next day is great. And let's just get into it. So Gamebox, how do you feel about the topic of Sonic Adventure 3? Just curious.
I'm, in all honesty, I'm actually very up for the idea of a Sonic Adventure 3. Like, I've not completed Sonic Adventure 2 yet, but from what I've experienced from Sonic Adventure 2, I love it. It's a really good game.
All right, guys. So that is going to conclude today's podcast and the entire series in general because I'm just now figuring out that Gamebox has never beat Sonic Adventure 2, one of the greatest Sonic games in the world. Are you serious?
Okay, guys, I've got a defense, alright? I have got a defense. It's a pretty good defense. I don't have a defense. Okay, can we move on?
There's no defense. There's no defense. Granted, I haven't beat Unleashed yet, so I can't talk completely. I haven't finished Heroes yet. I just got Peak Fiction, guys. I officially own Sonic 06. I'm happy about that. But yeah, okay, we're veering off topic. We're veering heavily off topic. But the reason I asked you that is because Moyo Kishimoto he just won't stop. Okay, he's been on Twitter constantly, just replying, being as transparent as humanly possible. And a lot of YouTubers are using the word Adventure 3, using the title Adventure 3 to basically sum up everything he's been talking about with these next few updates in the next game. Not necessarily because of, any labeling or story reasons, but because of everything that he's been teasing control-wise. So, as we know, the Adventure era basically took 2D classic Sonic's momentum and translated it seamlessly into 3D, kind of ruined it with a broken spin dash, but we're not going to talk about that part, okay? The adventure games controlled very smoothly. It actually felt like you had full control of Sonic. You weren't just on a roller coaster running across just a straightforward path. No, it all felt really good. It felt really smooth. It was nice. It had momentum. It was great. So we've been basically just really hoping that we can return to form with any future titles. For the past 10 years, ever since Colors, well, actually ever since Unleashed, it's been basically you spawn in and you just hold down boost. Obviously, there's more to the gameplay than that. I don't hate the boost games, but you hold down boost and you just go in a straight line. We want to see more freedom implemented into some of these levels. We want to see more momentum based mechanics. We had that in Frontier is not momentum based mechanics, but we had the freedom part of it, but only in open zone. When it came to the cyberspace levels, that is arguably the worst Sonic has ever controlled. In that type of format, the levels were designed nice. I enjoyed the cyberspace levels, but overall, Sonic's handling was awful. So Moyo Kishimoto has been responding to all of our criticism, and he's been saying, yeah, no, the adventure games are legendary, and with these next few updates, they're going to secretly incorporate. We touched on this in the last episode. He said they're going to secretly incorporate momentum-based movement and mechanics into the game. But he's just been still going on Twitter, guys, and now that we know for sure that in the next mainline Big Sonic game, there is going to be a return to form almost. Okay, he's teased it with the no boosting maybe not being a thing. He's teased it with how much he adores the adventure games. He's teased it with, how much he wants to incorporate the spin dash back and how smooth he wants something to control. He's even acknowledged that games like Lost Road and Forces weren't really up to par with his standards. Okay, so that's all great news, and I want to. I'm actually interested in your perspective, Gamebox, because I don't necessarily know if you have a preference when it comes to Sonic games and how they control. So how do you feel about that?
Honestly, I really do not know what. I really don't know how I'm feeling about this because, I do agree with you. Sonic and Frontiers doesn't really control well. I did a lot. I did like a really small live stream. I pretty much just canceled it because I wanted to experience first glance of the game. But the first time I actually controlled Sonic in a cyberspace stage, it was like, oh, okay, this is not really good. And the boosting, oh my god, I don't mean to be kind of a dick, but I hated the fact that the boosting was pretty much just you go fast, and when you try to hit enemies, it doesn't work. I hate
Yeah,
that.
it's so weird, isn't it? Because I like the change where, like, instead of, having to collect rings, having to collect certain wisps in order to, like, get back your boost, instead it's like a rechargeable thing. Like, you have boost all the time, but, like, you just can't overheat it and overuse it. I like that change. I
Mm.
thought that was cool, but they severely nerfed that thing to a point where, like, it's basically your run button. All right, like, when it originated back in Unleashed, it was more of a extension of Sonic. It was, something that empowered you and made you go really fast. You earned that boost, and it was sick. But in Frontiers, it's just your run button. It can't blast through enemies. If you try to do an aerial boost, you will go like 2 feet before, like, you lose all momentum and just plummet to the ground. It's like it just controls it's so off. It feels so not great. Dude, it's so strange because not Frontiers, Forces has way better handling and smooth and more responsive controls than
Yeah.
Frontiers does in the cyberspace levels, and that is bizarre. Don't the guys look? I'm not a part of the. Oh, maybe Forces wasn't that bad. Maybe it was just overhated. No, fuck Forces. I fucking hate that game. It's not even that bad of a game, but I hate everything that game stands for. However, I do acknowledge that some things it did are way better than what Frontiers did. Exclusively regarding the cyberspace levels. But don't get me wrong, the cyberspace levels just completely run circles around Forces' level design. But yeah, no, I do agree with you there. Do you have a preference, or are you just fine no matter what, as long as the game is just good?
I would say I'm just fine as long as the game's good, as long as it makes sense for the game, and just pretty much if Sonic can control well, and if the game's just fun to play, you know.
See, guys, this is why Gamebox is a fake fan, because he's like very open to like new things and like gives the dev team like enough time and freedom to do whatever they want to make a truly good experience. A real Sonic fan completely pressures the dev team into designing a game exactly the way they want it, and anything that's even remotely different is an absolute betrayal of the character and his physics and what he was designed for. Okay, it's not an adventure style game. To me personally, that's a horrible Sonic game. Every Sonic game made after '06 was disgusting, which is why '06 is the peak of the franchise, and I finally got it. Sorry for being an idiot. Okay,
Go! Got good news for everyone.
oh, do you?
Sonic is alive.
And you see, we don't tolerate that on this channel. We don't tolerate any Forces references. We don't tolerate Forces in general, and we don't tolerate Pontac and Graf's contributions to the series. Even though I'm sure the fantastic people have made good stuff
Someone
before.
did. Maybe you want to get to know each other. So, what's your favorite color? Favorite walks on the beach? What's the source of your power? You
I
can
actually
skip.
kind of like that.
I'm fucking up the line. Jesus Christ! You can skip the first two questions if you like.
Oh my god, Sonic was a freaking it was unbearable in those games. It was awesome. But
They have mastered
yeah.
one, but no part in Soul.
Oh, thank Christ, Ian Flynn, Big Dick Ian is back in the house and he's writing the games now on.
Guys,
Oh,
guys,
and
you guys want to know how much Sly hates Forces? You guys want to see how much he hates Forces? Yeah,
how do
right.
people see how much I hate Forces?
Yeah. Okay, so you've had the whole Sonic is alive thing, which is hilarious. And here's my favorite one. All right, Sonic goes like this: "Your mask can't hide how sad and lonely you are." Or, "Why not use us as the masked clown?" Peak comedy. Peak comedy. It's so funny. I pissed myself
It's
laughing.
but a fleeting illusion.
See, even Sly's quoting Sonic Forces. That's how much he likes Sonic Forces.
Dude, I hate the game. But honestly, you know what? You actually just provided a great segue into the next little news topic. Because this comes completely out of nowhere, but someone on Twitter was asking, hey, Moyo Kishimoto, it was left very unclear what happened to Infinite at the end of Forces, whether he died, whether he was sealed away somehow, or whether he simply just vanished. Like we don't know like what happened to him. Is he gonna appear in any new games? Is it possible for him to return? And Kishimoto just comes out and says, "Oh yeah, no. I mean, he's a mainline character, so yeah, no, he could definitely come back in a future game. Yeah, he's still alive." But like, it's just like okay, because that was my biggest like WTF moment with Forces, aside from the game's showing quality. It was what happened to Infinite at the end, because I don't think even the writers knew Infinite's origin story. Okay, there's the origin story where he just gets beat up by Shadow and he's like, I'm weak, and then he like joins Eggman to become this cyberized thingy. And then there's what Forces hints at in the game, where it's like, oh, he was a robot built by Eggman, because he says, oh, I'm accessing your previous data, and oh my god, what a terrible place to build someone. Like, I don't think the writers even knew where he came from. It's just it's so bizarre. So yeah, it was completely unclear what happened to him, whether he died or not. But it is confirmed. I don't think he confirmed that he was alive per se, but he confirmed that he's not gone for good and he could return. And honestly, okay, before I give my 2 cents, do you want Infinite to return, Gamebox?
Yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, it's cool. It would be cool to see him return, but on the other side, no, not really. I'm just being honest, not really wanting to see Infinite return. But if they want to do that, then all the power to them.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So look, as much as I'm your residential Forces hater, I will say this: Infinite returning would be great, and here's why. Okay, here's why for multiple reasons. One, he will be written well. Okay, I raise you this. I want you to think about what you thought of Zavok when you played Lost World back in 2013. You thought, wow, this guy is so lame. He's just a freaking Bowser knockoff. He's just boring. He's a boring villain with a god awful design. Why are they bringing back full forces? There's nothing appealing about this character. And now I want you to think about how you felt about Zavok when reading the Metal Virus saga written by Ian Flynn. Ian single-handedly took that character. No, not just that character. He took the entirety of the Deadly Six and made them threatening, intimidating, and downright awesome. Like he converted like that character into a genuinely really cool villain, because that's what a talented writer does. And I wholeheartedly believe that if Ian was able to reintroduce Infinite into a new plot, Infinite would be just the coolest guy ever, because there's a lot of potential there. I love Infinite's design. I love his powers. It's just that everything else regarding his character is awful. But I think that if Ian actually got a hold of that, he could turn maybe like his obsession with obtaining power to a genuinely really like complex character trait. That makes him stand out, gives him his whole like unique personality. I think Ian could work wonders for that character. I do think there's a lot of untapped potential there. And second reason I would love for him to come back is we just don't really have a lot of recurring villains aside from Eggman, right? The only time we've ever had anything remotely similar is Metal Sonic coming back after years of being a no-show since CD and being the main villain of Heroes. That was really cool. But guys, that happened in 2003, freaking 10 years ago. All right, well, technically 9 years ago, but you get what I mean, right? Like they gotta do it again. I think it'd be cool to see Infinite come back and actually be a recurring villain. Some people say they want to see Mephiles come back, but the hard truth is, guys, there would be no physical way for Mephiles to come back. Okay, he got erased from the timeline. There's no way that and then plus his whole point in that game was so that he could, unite with Iblis and become Solaris. There's no. Where would Solaris be? Solaris, not Solaris. What would Iblis be? Iblis never existed. Iblis got wiped out at the end of '06. So what would Mephiles' motivation be? It would make no sense for Mephiles to come back, despite how cool of a villain he is. I can't think of any notable Sonic villain outside of Mephiles. So screw it, man. Bring back Infinite. Bring back Infinite. Have him written well. I think it'd be a pretty cool twist. It'd be pretty neat. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool.
I'd say it's mid.
You want to know what the only thing that's mid here? Your takes. That's what's mid.
Excuse me, I actually have good Sonic tastes. Like, have you not seen my favorite Sonic games list?
I actually haven't. I know your top three are Black Knight, Unleashed, and D and Knuckles.
Yeah, they're
There's no adventure
masterpieces.
game in there, so that's immediately a red flag.
Okay, then what's your top three? Surprise me.
I
Go on.
told you, bro. Bro, Adventure 1, Adventure 2, and Frontiers, bro. Honestly, if I turned into a top four, I'd probably put Omens in there. Honestly, I'd probably put freaking Omens in there. Anything that's adventure based is on that list, bro.
Well, you want to know
Adventure
something
is the
else?
way to go.
You want to know
Huh,
something else?
huh, 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 huh.
As someone who's never played Sonic Omens, I can actually say that I'm not joking when I say this. Sonic RPG and Final Fantasy Sonic are better than Sonic Omens. Fight me. Get your
Saying
legend
Sonic
support
Darkside
and fight
Chronicles is better
me.
than Sonic
Fight
Omens.
me.
All right, we're done here. We're done. Guys, I don't know how this podcast has lasted to episode 3. Like, we're not. This is not gonna last for a while. We're probably. I predict episode 4 tops. Episode 4 tops the max we're ever gonna get. Um. Okay, but that basically concludes it for our news segment. At the time of recording this, not a lot has happened. Moyo has just been very active on Twitter still. It's actually insane. Like, it's kind of sad, but I think this is such a rare W for everyone at Sega and Sonic Team that they're just soaking it in, and Moyo is just popping off on Twitter. It's just making the best of it. Just freaking trying not to let the momentum die out and just being like, guys, I promise you guys, Frontiers wasn't just a one-time thing. No, it's the new era going forward, and I'm excited. I believe him. I believe him. I believe him. So with that said, though, guys, we're going to delve into today's main topic, and that being Sonic stories. And if you're one of those people who are like, "Bro, who plays Sonic games for the story? I play it for the gameplay." Get out, get out the video, get out the
Get
podcast,
out of
bro.
here. Get out of
Get out of here,
here.
man. Yeah, bro. I've seen that same area of logic applied to all my favorite things: Mortal Kombat, Resident Evil, Sonic. I haven't heard anyone say that about Sly Cooper because you already know I would come after you said that about Sly Cooper. But dude, guys, if the story, I'll say this to the day I die. If the stories weren't important, then the devs wouldn't spend nearly as much time like writing them as they do. Right? If Mortal Kombat's story wasn't important, there wouldn't be a giant mythological world of all these branching characters and branching realms. Okay, if Resident Evil story wasn't important, there wouldn't be tons and tons and tons of hidden documents. If Sonic's story wasn't important, we wouldn't have 2 successful Sonic movies, a freaking multitude of Sonic shows, a running comic series. Just stop. Stop. Sorry, I've had that bubbled in for a while now. Again, getting off track. So, yeah, me and Gamebox have gathered here today to Sonic stories in general. We're going to talk about, what Sonic stories we typically like, just what Sonic stories that we vibe with the most, and this could be fun. We're going to talk about what we think qualifies. Well, not qualifies, but what we think personally makes like a peak Sonic story. So I think the first little subtopic, little question that I'm gonna ask is Gamebox, what do you love to see in a Sonic story? Like, this is as broad as the question can get, but like, what to you is like your favorite type of Sonic story? It can be, like like a specific type of tone, or maybe certain characters in it, or just whatever. What would you say is your favorite type of Sonic story?
My favorite type of Sonic story is mostly. I'm gonna be a nerd when I say this, but honestly, I don't care. I'm a big fan of like those stories that are more character driven. Like, I
Hmm.
know people are gonna be like, "What are you on about when I say this?" But I think Black Knight's a big example of
You
Sonic's
that no,
character.
actually no, people would not be on your neck for that because Black Knight is becoming a fan favorite with the community. It's like I've been hearing nonstop love for Black Knight recently, and it's been insane.
Dude,
I was just saying that.
I loved it since I got it, and I'm actually very happy that more people are starting to see that Black Knight's a true good game. What other? Yeah, Sonic Unleashed was another Sonic game that showed Sonic's character. And in all honesty, I just think it works. Like, I love character-driven stories. I love how characters can just show who they truly are and what makes them special. That to me makes a Sonic story.
No, all right, that's good. That's good. That's a good answer. Cause yeah, no, the characters are just without a doubt, without a like a question in the world the best part of the narratives. Okay, like Sonic does have an interesting world. There is some cool world building, but like what carries each and every single story is and will always be the characters. And they're not the best well written characters in the world. God knows they're not the most consistent, but what they are is the most unique, the most interesting. They're just really fun and heartwarming characters, and I agree. That's like my favorite part of like all Sonic stories. So yeah, like unlike Gamebox, I'm a very picky bitch. So along with the characters, I have a ton of other things that to me make up a peak Sonic story in my eyes. Well, not really a peak Sonic story in my eyes because I feel like okay, I want to come off crystal clear. When I say a peak Sonic story, I don't mean like the like a objectively perfect Sonic story. Nowhere close. I mean a Sonic story that resonates with me the most, that I typically look forward to seeing. My favorite type of Sonic story, basically, is what I'm saying. The ones that I think are the most compelling and just resonate with me the best. And yeah, so as Gamebox said, I love stories that are very character driven. You know, just games like Generations enforces where there are stuff happening, but there's not really anything happening with the characters. Like the characters are there, but they're not necessarily. There's nothing. They don't serve a purpose. Is what I'm saying. They don't serve a purpose at all. There's just standing around. Yeah, no, no. Just stop. But as Gamebox has some good examples. Like Black Knight was a perfect representation of Sonic's character. I've never played the game, but I've seen the story. It's perfect. Adventure 2. Oh, actually, Adventure 1 and 2 are like just peak characterization, just absolutely are what like really cemented these characters and just perfect. The arcs they went through, great. Um in terms of okay, so this is where I kind of veer off from the public community because I think anyone can agree that like, we want to see a Sonic story of good characters. Me personally though, along with those good characters, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I love high stakes in my Sonic stories. All right. I understand that this franchise is for kids. I understand that like this is a franchise about a silly talking blue hedgehog who can run and break the sound barrier. All right. I am aware of what I'm talking about. But the Sonic stories that I typically love are very epic and grand in scale. All right. To me, Sonic has had a lot of shonen influence ever since like his original inception. And that was emphasized greatly in games like Adventure 2, '06, even Shadow Hedgehog, I'd say. And yeah, those are the type of Sonic stories that I vibe with the most. Ones that because with the West kind of like depicted Sonic as this very bubbly baby cartoon thing for kids, whereas like in Japan he was seen as a little more serious. And yeah, no, I love that side of him more. I love the Sonic stories that take huge risks. I love the Sonic stories that have huge stakes. I love the Sonic stories that are very grand in what they are doing. I love the Sonic stories that take themselves really seriously. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I really do. I don't think that like the more silly what's what I'm looking for? I don't think the silly lighthearted. Yeah, I don't think the silly lighthearted stories are bad. No, not by any stretch of the imagination. I just personally really vibe with the darker stuff more because I think that's when the characters shine the brightest in terms of like how they're depicted. I think that's some of the most interesting things. Like, and a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I don't like the adventure era, dark era Sonic stories because they were very melodramatic and took things very seriously." I guarantee you, if you ask anyone what their favorite Sonic story is, it's guaranteed to be from one of those eras. Okay, either Adventure or Dark Era. It's gonna be from there. Okay, some of the most obvious answers are like, oh, Adventure 2, or oh, Black Knight, or oh, even though some people actually think '06 is the best Sonic story ever told. And like, look, guys, those are all from the same era. Okay, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy for loving this era. Okay, but yeah, I like Sonic stories. Like Gamebox says, I put that prioritize characterization as well as take themselves pretty seriously, which is why the movies in Prime I love, but I'm not as in love with as I would be had they, what's the word I'm looking for? Had they taken themselves a little more seriously, okay? I don't wanna come off as pretentious. I don't wanna come off as like, gatekeeping because like they are like the target demographic is kids. They're supposed to be, fun and family friendly and just overall just a nice comfort thing to watch. And I understand that. Like that like, Sonic stories aren't tailored around what I personally love to see from them. But I'm just saying, from my point of view, those are the Sonic stories that I like the most, just the more darker stuff.
Yeah.
But with that comes a obvious question, and that is, what is our favorite Sonic story? I think we all know Gamebox at this point. He's done a bad job hiding it. What's your favorite? Yeah, just entertain us, Gamebox. Well, what's your favorite Sonic story?
Sonic 06.
You know what? I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
I'm joking.
Yeah,
it's
I was like,
definitely, it's definitely Black Knight
yeah.
Unleashed. Also Sonic Forces, that's got a good story.
No, I will kick you out of this call so fast, and I will literally just disband this entire podcast. Okay, so if you had to pick one though, which one would you say you like more, Black Knight story or an Unleashed story? Because I'm actually pretty curious about that.
Oh wow. Um oh wow, shit, that's actually a good one. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go with Black Knight. I think Black
Okay,
Knight
okay.
just I think Black Knight shows what Sonic truly is, and I just think it works a lot better.
Oh yeah, I think everyone can agree that like Black Knight is just, like indisputably the best Sonic has ever been depicted. I kind of think that it's a tie between Black Knight and Sonic X because guys, Sonic X was depicted. I mean, Sonic was depicted really well in that show. We don't like to give that show credit because everyone's yeah, we hate Chris Thorndike. Oh, the show's awful. But no, that show is peak fiction, and I will fight anyone who disagrees. But yeah, those are some good picks though. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's pretty much just it.
Okay, sick, sick. To me, my favorite Sonic story, that's a tough one because I feel like my answer is somewhat cheating. Yeah, no, it's not a question. It's 100% cheating. I'll say Sonic X, guys. Okay, okay, look, my favorite game story is Sonic Adventure 2. But technically, Sonic Adventure 2 is in Sonic X. So so yeah, it qualifies. And plus you have all this other stuff. Guys, I really do love Sonic X. I'm in the process of making a video about it. Right now I'm currently making a video talking about the ending of Frontiers and why I think it's overlooked and why it's beautiful. After that wraps up, I'm in the editing phase. Once I'm done with that, I'm just going to dedicate a lot of my time and a lot of my attention in making a long overdue Sonic X video because holy smokes, guys, that show is great. It depicts all the characters perfectly. The human characters are really entertaining and fun. It's just a really fun show. I love the rising of the stakes. The whole entire Metarex arc, bruh. The entire Metarex arc, dude. Don't even you watch that part, guys. Yeah, no. Sonic X is just my favorite Sonic story. I love everything about it. There's not, you know what's crazy? That show has 78 episodes, and there's not a single episode in that show that I can point to and be like, yeah, no, that's kind of lame. Yeah, no, I love every episode because I love the characters, I love the writers. It's just great, man. And plus, they have Adventure 1 and Adventure 2 depicted in that show, so it has already my two of my favorite Sonic games adapted. So yeah, no, I gotta go with Sonic X. I have to go. I have to go with it. And plus, I literally just said that I love the shonen and like Japanese influence of Sonic. He was made to be a Western icon, but he did take a lot of inspiration from animes and mangas like Dragon Ball and whatever. So yeah, no, it's an entire Sonic anime, guys. It's literally made for me. It's actually made for me.
Yeah, it's actually made for me as well. Keep that in mind. Definitely made for
Ooh.
me. It's definitely
Oh
made
wait,
for me.
I'm actually curious. Have you ever watched Sonic X?
Not a lot of it. I've only seen the first season of it, but it's been a while.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, right now I'm in the middle of watching the Japanese version for the first time. Up until this point, I had always watched the 4Kids version just because I love the 4Kids cast. Like, to me, that's still my favorite, like, Sonic cast of all time. But yeah, no, the Japanese version just is better. Like, it has better writing. There's no unnecessary censors, and the soundtrack overall is pretty neat. The 4Kids version is not as bad as everyone makes it out to be, but the Japanese version, it's like I'd say if you want the true form of Sonic X, then you'd watch the Japanese version. I like both though, but yeah, no, it's the show is still just as good as I remember it being, and it's cool seeing the original version of the show, the original voices, and the original scenes. Bro, like Prime was your first offense, and then Sonic X. You gotta get into the world of Sonic TV, my guy.
I know. I mean, I've
Bro,
seen a lot of
screw,
Sonic Boom. I will
huh?
say that.
Oh, Sonic Boom. Oh yeah, that's a good show. But yeah, no, screw college. Sonic X is where it's at. Sonic Prime is where it's at. Okay, you don't need college. So, I'm obviously joking. But yeah, that's pretty much our both of our favorite Sonic stories. For me, it's adventure. It's a slash between Adventure 2 and Sonic X. Gamebox, it's a slash
Oh my.
between Unleashed and Black Knight. Oh, what's up?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying. Oh my God, he's gonna keep talking about Sonic Adventure 2, but no, you actually jumped the topic. Sorry, carry on.
Well, I could talk about Adventure 2 for literally like the entire pod. At some point after you beat Adventure 2 for the first time, we're gonna have an entire podcast dedicated to Adventure 2. It's gonna
Adventure
be great.
2 isn't that good though. I'm
Okay, we're definitely gonna have a podcast dedicated to Adventure 2.
It's good. I'm joking.
Dude, what the fuck? Okay, so yeah, so now this is probably the like subtopic that I'm the most interested in because this is something that's widely debated about the community. You could ask any Sonic fan, they'll have a different answer every time. What is our favorite era of Sonic stories? Okay, so like as we know, there's four, but okay, technically five eras of Sonic. There's the classic era, which is Sonic 1 to 3 and Knuckles. There's the adventure era, which is adventure 1 to Heroes. There's the dark era, which is Shadow the Hedgehog to Black Knight. Then there's the meta era, which is Colors to Forces, and then there's the new era. I don't know what we're gonna call this one, which is just Frontiers. Okay, it's definitely not a meta era. We're past that, thank Christ. And now we're in the new era. So with those eras are different stories with different tones. And I'm curious as to what Gamebox's favorite era of Sonic stories are. Like, out of these five eras, what to you has like the most quality writing and the most quality storytelling?
Personally, um, I would actually have to go with the adventure era and the dark era, in my
Yeah, you
opinion.
gotta pick one. You gotta pick one.
Damn it! All right,
That's the chick to it.
dark era then. I'll go for the dark era
Based. Why you say Dark Era?
because it just shows Sonic's writing. Black Knight, Unleashed.
Oh yeah, I guess
Character
Dark Era is kind of
development.
an obvious choice for you because you know your two favorite Sonic games are in there, so it
And
does make
mainly
sense.
because that what they do there, what they do in the Dark Era, even though '06 happened, at least in the Dark Era, characters were still true to who they were, and there are some underrated games in the Dark Era.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. A lot of people, you know, want your head on a spike, but then again, that's just what happens when you voice any sort of opinion. And Sonic should have hears about it. So yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, based. So for me, this question was really hard. Because okay, to obviously it's between Adventure Era and Dark Era. Classic Era actually had some pretty good stories told within the subtext of those games, but obviously due to limitations, none of the characters could speak. You could have, you know, as for fine narratives, it was mainly about gameplay. So yeah, and then with the meta era, don't talk to me, don't approach me. Some people are actually outing themselves as fans of the Pontiac and Graph era, which is good, which is good. I say like I don't know why I said outing themselves because that has like a negative connotation. A lot of people are revealing that they love that era, but you know what? It's fine because you know despite it not being for me, I can understand the appeal of like you know everything just being lighthearted and everything being comedic. So yeah, I definitely get that, but. It to me, Adventure Era and Dark Era is easily where the best Sonic narratives were. But it's a tough one because to me, the Adventure eras are better told and are better written. But to me, the Dark Era has more cool aspects about it. There's just more sloppily written. If I had to pick one, it would definitely have to be the Dark Era. Okay, it's the Adventure Era was a close second, but with the Adventure Era, you have Adventure One story, which is pretty good. Adventure Two story, which is still the best Sonic story ever told, and Hero story, which is pretty neat. But Dark Era has Shadow the Hedgehog, which till this day is extremely misunderstood. It has a really good story. Sonic 06, which yes doesn't make a lick of sense, but makes up for that with some really good characterization. Black Knight, which many would argue is still like the best Sonic has ever been depicted. Secret Rings, I don't know anything about Secret Rings, sorry. And then Unleashed, which a lot of people just will simp for. Yeah, no, there was some really quality stories told in the Dark Era, and one reason why I really love these stories is just because, like I said, when we talk about our person, like what we personally look forward to in a Sonic story, that wasn't just a filler question. No, like I told you guys, I love it when the stories are serious, when they're grand, and when they take a lot of heavy anime influence. It's not for everyone. I'm not saying that should be how the series is going forward, but to me, those are my personal favorite. And the Dark Era is just filled with stories like that. So I would definitely have to agree with Gamebox and say the Dark Era for me.
Get in. I'm not the only one. I'm very happy with that.
Oh yeah, so now both of our heads are gonna be on spikes, but it's okay. At least we've died uh, standing by our decisions of this cartoon Blue Hedgehog franchise.
Oh yeah.
So with that out of the way, now that you guys know where we stand in terms of like Sonic stories, characterization, what we personally look forward to, the next question is, what do we want the series to do narrative wise going forward? You guys know me. My opinion is gonna be dreadfully boring and dreadfully obvious. But I'm actually curious as to what Gamebox thinks. How do you want the Sonic stories to be going forward? Like any specifics that you want? Anything you can really think of that you're like, okay, I want a push. I want a little bit of this to be more focused on. I want this to be like this. I want this a certain way. Like, what do you think?
Personally, again, cliche answer. Like I said earlier in the podcast, um, when I talk about character based films or character based stories, but for the future for Sonic, I like to see more character work on not just Sonic, but more of the characters. Like I know we got some of that in Frontiers, but I like to see more of that. Mainly with Sonic's character, because I mean we did get that in Frontiers. We got Knuckles' character, Amy's character, and Tails' character having developments in Frontiers. But personally, I want to see more of what Sonic can do. I want to see more of Sonic's character being implemented, if that's the right word, on or just some development there. Because I like character development stories, and also, not really like I know a lot of Sonic fans will pretty much call blasphemy when I say this. Is like I kind of want to see like a teeny bit. I just say a teeny bit of a teeny bit of a darker story, not like you know Shadow the Hedgehog levels of dark. I'm talking about like just calm like dark films. You know what I mean?
I see nor hear no evil. Black writings
Oh
on the wall unleashed a million faces, and one by one they fall. Bro, I want to see guns. I want to see demons. I want to see freaking motorcycles, bro. I want the darkest,
no 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 no
bloodiest
no
Sonic game after
no
Frontiers, bro.
no.
I want
What?
Shadow Hedgehog to be walking
No,
around with a freaking LMG, just freaking
no,
gunning Sonic and his friends down,
no,
dude. That's
no, no,
all
no,
I
no,
want.
no, no. I actually want to see Sonic say the F word.
Yeah, I
Fuck.
want to see him say the F slur too. Honestly, I think that'd be a great introduction to this character. Guys, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Please let me answer this.
But in
It's
all
a joke.
seriousness, I like to see a bit of like I know this is kind of a weird comparison, but I like a Puss in Boots: The Last Wish like levels of dark story. I like that.
Oh yeah, no. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This is gonna sound hyperbolic, but look, guys, I think it should be studied in film school because that film is a perfect example of how to make a kids movie for everyone. Okay, a lot of movies don't really know how to strike that right balance. Okay, like it'll be a kids movie for everyone, but it'll lean a little too much on the kids side, or it'll be a kids movie for everyone, but it leans a little too more on the adult side, and like kids can't really enjoy it. It needs it. Puss in Boots Last Wish strikes that perfect balance, and I love it. And I think a lot of kids films should strive for that.
Yep. Illumination.
Nah, Illumination's making the big bucks. They ain't changing their formula anytime soon. No, it's just going. It's constant fart jokes and pop culture references. That's all you're gonna get. That's all you're allowed.
Before quick off-topic rant before we get back into the Sonic, I've actually been on a massive DreamWorks like obsession, realizing that some films they make are so underrated. It's crazy.
Oh, bro, DreamWorks is like, look, okay, Gamebox has already been on my neck about it, so I don't need any more of you hopping on me on the comments. But I have not seen the Shrek movies. All right, I've watched one like years ago and forgot everything about it. I just watched Puss in Boots and Puss in Boots 2, so those are great. I will watch Shrek at some point. The reason I'm saying this because DreamWorks, guys, the Madagascar trilogy is like some of my favorite animated movies, guys. I love Madagascar. All right, that seems like such a weird thing to talk about, but guys, I fucking love Madagascar. I love it. I just want to put that out there, guys. Madagascar is so underrated. Oh my god. If I had to rank like the three prominent animation studios, it'd be Illumination's rock bottom. Okay, I like some of the stuff they put out. The first Despicable Me was good. The Lorax adaptation it was okay. Everything else is just awful. And then second it'd be DreamWorks, and then first it'd be Pixar, because of course it's Pixar, guys. Like it's Pixar.
Have you seen Lightyear?
I have not seen Lightyear.
It's like one of the well, I'm just gonna be honest. Lightyear's one of the middest films I've ever seen in my life.
One of the middest.
It's one of the films of all time.
That sucks because I was looking forward to it because I really do like Buzz from Toy Story, so I was hoping that like a standalone movie could be pretty cool. Wow, this is a Sonic podcast. Okay, let's let's go. Let's get back into it.
Why?
I agree with what you said. Oh God, Sonic from Hell. Jeez. Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said about the Puss in Boots thing.
Good.
Good.
Made it like good. Because if you said a different answer, you know what happens.
Oh no.
But in all seriousness, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I guess you guys already know my answer because my answer is painfully obvious. Just do everything Funtus did and do more of it. That's pretty much it. Ian Flynn is the greatest. Okay, he's on par with Shiro Makawa for the best Sonic writer of all time. Okay, those two are just they're untouchable. They're undefeatable. They break through it all. They found their flame and they're here. And well, one of them is here. And yeah, no, and I love everything Ian Flynn did with Frontiers. I love everything he's doing with IDW. And what I love most about Ian Flynn is, I guess it's the one thing he has above Shiro Makawa, okay? Because obviously, Shiro Makawa is Japanese, he's in Japan, so naturally, he's not really as in touch of like what a lot of Western audiences expect from the character. So stories like Adventure 2, '06 will come as very like out of nowhere, very serious and melodramatic, because we have a different perception of the character. Ian Flynn, however, being like from the West, or at least I assume so, he knows like how we view the character, and he also like has a good understanding of what makes the character so cool and what made like earlier stories so awesome. And so he's able to blend those two really well to the point where Sonic stories can be serious enough to the point where like, yeah, you get engaged with the characters and what's happening, but also like kid friendly enough to the point where it's like, okay, well, this is still like a cartoon series at the end of the day, and he strikes that balance so incredibly well. He's such a good writer, and I love everything that was in Frontiers, and I just want more of it. Keep the same tone, keep the same attention to the characters, keep the same world building. That's it. That's literally my answer, guys. Just do more of it. Frontiers was literally perfect. Obviously, it's not like Because if I had my way, Frontiers would have been garbage. You guys want to know why? Because I would have added like 5 more anime fights in there. I would have added like 6 more vocal tracks. I would have had a whole end of the world plot. Okay, but there was an end of the world plot. But I would have had like the ground breaking up and magma covering all the Starfall Islands and freaking characters swearing. Shadows just like, where did this damn lava come from? Just I would have had the worst thing ever. And that's because I like my song stories really serious and really over the top. So, but yeah, no, Ian Saber strike that balance really well, and I love him for it.
I'd like to see a
But yeah,
Sonic game written by Hideo Kojima.
that would be the most confusing Sonic game we would ever play. Like
It'd be funny
that
though.
would it would be so funny seeing the freaking like cartoon furries just like in this very like weird, ominous place of all these mysteries and questions and questioning reality and these governmental conspiracies and like human experimentation, like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. It'd be the funniest thing seeing those characters in a setting like that. That'd be hilarious. Oh my god.
Sonic, directed
Uh
by Hideo Kojima.
Dude, that would actually just be the funniest thing ever. You're right. That would be like people would like look at '06 and be like, "Yo, that was nowhere near melodramatic compared to this, bro. This is like this is something else." But yeah, now you guys know where we stand. Gamebox wants more of an emphasis on like a darker undertones as well as like more focus on the characters, and I just want Ian to just keep doing what he's doing because I thought Frontier Story was okay. Frontier Story was good, but I wouldn't say it's perfect only because it was clear budgetary constraints stopped it from being something truly special. There wasn't really a huge. There was a payoff, but not a huge payoff. So yeah, I'd love to see Ian working with a proper budget next time. With that said, though, we've concluded most of our topics. Now here comes the fun fifth floor topic that's going to conclude everything, and that's what the fans have been writing. As you guys know, me and Gamebox are fans of Sonic the Hedgehog. I know it's crazy, right? And as a result, there are a lot of fan projects that we checked out and we just absolutely adore. I thought it'd be, but actually, Gamebox thought it'd be cool if like we like gave some appreciation to some of these stories that we really like and just talk about fan stories in general. And yes, I'm gonna let Gamebox take away the floor and talk about some fan stories that that he personally thought things like needs more attention or like pretty cool and that people need to go check out. What are some stories, Gamebox?
Well, this is going to be a tricky one. I'd say a lot of Sonic games I would or sorry, random message popped up on my phone. Anyway,
I'm having a Sonic podcast.
Yeah, we got a Sonic podcast. Go away. Anyway, I'd say I would like to see Final Fantasy Sonic and Sonic RPG. I want that to be. I think that kind of deserves a little bit more love. Yes, the episodes 1 to 3 for some of them, or however long, they do look low in quality, but they build up as again, it's in episodes, and the look of it just gets better and better and better as it goes on. Sadly, they are discontinued. Well, actually, Sonic RPG is. I think Sonic RPG is done. Final Fantasy Sonic is, I think, discontinued. I do not know, but I think they deserve a lot more. They deserve a lot more love. There's other Sonic projects that I really like. I wouldn't say they're underrated, but just to name a few ones that I do like, I like the oh, what was it? I think I'm starting to get into like Sonic. I think it's like a Sonic X thing with Sally Acorn in it, but it's like very different. But again, it could
Sonic X
change.
Sally Acorn?
What is that?
Sonic X Sally Acorn? Is that what it's
No,
saying?
no, not like that.
Son Ali fan
Not
infiltrating
like
this
that.
podcast.
No, no. I will sue you for this podcast for making that statement.
I just get a cease and desist letter in my mailbox.
But
Oh god.
the Sonic X with Sally. But there's Sonic Family Life, which I did really enjoy a while back, but sadly it's no longer on YouTube. Uh any other Sonic stories? Well, I'd say there's like a lot of well, Sonic stop motion adventures, the Sonic Plus show, pretty much all of that. I like to branch out into different like types of Sonic stories, whether it be sprites, plush channels, stop motion channels, pretty much anything Sonic story related. You've pretty much hooked me. If I'm pretty much just going to be watching the Sonic stop motion thing and I'm just wanting more, then you know you've done something good there. But if it's like, that was a thing, and yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay, so I've been meaning to ask you this. So like Sonic RPG and Final Fantasy Sonic, when you said those earlier, I thought you were just making something up just as a joke. I didn't know those were actual like fan projects. So like what are those? Are those like an animated series? Are they a webcomic? What are those?
They are Flash games. Sadly, I can't
Oh,
play.
gotcha.
I think I might go back and play them. Maybe I do not know because a while back I was able to actually play some of the older Flash games, which kind of made me very, very happy, close to tearing up. This is a sad Gamebox moment. But pretty much what they are is that they're Flash games. They're mainly RPG-like games, and they rock. Soundtrack, great. The characters they introduce, it's kind of like, well, Final Fantasy Sonic has Super Sonic with a red, the Final Fantasy sword, but it's in red, and it's got the Mega Man characters in it. And Sonic RPG as Sonic and the character Knights from the other Sega game.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that. Not I've never played the Knights game they made, but yeah, guys, I buy it out so I could mention I've been to one again. It's in Casinopolis. You guys know the one, right? And the third level in Sonic Story. Yeah, when you go into that one area in the pinball machine, you fly by him because Sonic Adventure is one of the greatest games ever made. Have I been to Sonic Adventure 2, by the way? Sonic Adventure 2 is also like to me a perfect Sonic game. I
What
am
Sonic
so
Adventure
sorry
2?
that I'm the way I am.
What Sonic Adventure 2? I don't know what that is.
Of course you don't, because you haven't beaten it yet. Fake fan.
Well, you want to know something else, right? I played the Sonic versus Shadow fight, right? And
Hmm.
I made an Instagram story saying top 10 greatest anime fights of all time. Well, you know what? After calling me a fake fan, it's nowhere near that level. Worst anime fight. Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
How
No.
dare you?
Garbage. Garbage fight.
Yeah, the people watching this are so sick about shit. uh, is there anything else you want to add?
No, not really. Other than please check out those two Flash projects. They are so good. Even though, again, they do have like lower qualities in the first episodes, and the dialogue can be a bit all over the place and a bit iffy jiffy. But other than that, watch them. Well, you can watch them or you can play the games. But I don't know if the Flash thing is supported by something else, but we'll have to wait and see. So I would say watch it for now, or if you're able to get access of the games, play them. They're fun.
All right, good deal, good deal. Okay, so I guess when it comes to me, I do not have infinitely near as large of a catalog of stories that Gamebox is saying. I was gonna highlight two fan projects that I'm a huge fan of that pretty much I say most, everyone in the community knows these two, but there's a chance that you guys may not have heard of them, and I really do wanna give them a shot because they deserve it. So the first most obvious, you guys have seen it on the channel of me doing a let's play of it, Sonic Omen. So I'm not just highlighting the game itself. I have an entire review, guys, that I'm making of Sonic Omens. I'm not sure if it's out by the time you're watching this or if it's coming out by the time you're watching this. Just go on the channel and see if it's there. Okay, if it's not there, then it's coming out, and I'm excited for it because it's gonna be an awesome review. But I plan on addressing all the controversies that people and problems people have with the game in that video because a lot of them are blown way out of proportion, the game is just it's been hated on. Like it's the hate for it is so mind-boggling forced, and I can't wait to like go more into that with the video I'm making. But Everything aside, the story to that game is everything I just said. Well, yeah, no, I love darker Sonic stories that are really over the top and prioritize characterization as well as like give us neat little tidbits of the world. Yeah, no, Omens does that. It's a fan made project, and yet it has some of the best characterization, best story. It is so cool. It's not a masterpiece, guys. It's not a masterpiece. The story is pretty sloppy, which can be expected from a freaking project made by fans. Okay, but I really appreciated everything it did. I can't really talk about it because I don't want to spoil any surprise. Just know, especially if you're a fan of Sonic X, I'm not gonna go into more than that. But if you're a fan of Sonic X, you're gonna love Omens. Okay, you're gonna love the Omen story. Omen story. I can't guarantee you'll love the gameplay. If you like the Dark Era games and how they handle, then you'll like the gameplay. But yeah, no. I just want to give that game a shout out because its story actually was unexpectedly really good. I have a blind Let's Play. If you don't have a computer that can run it, if you can't run the game at all, it's free. By the way, it's free. If you have a decent PC or a decent gaming laptop, go play it. If you can't, I have a blind Let's Play. You can watch that, or you can wait till I get to the review, which will maybe be out or coming out by the time you're watching this. So, with Omens aside, something that not everyone of fandom knows about, but something I really, 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 really desperately want you guys to go check out. Sonic and Tails R. I can't remember her name by heart, but it's like Emu Emmy or Emmy Emu. I sound weird, but
I
like her username is weird, huh?
I follow that person on Twitter. 2 seconds. Good thing I've got my phone next to me.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
2 seconds, guys.
I know her real name is. I'm obviously Emily, but her YouTube name eludes me somehow.
It's Emmy and Emmy Jones.
Okay, Emmy, gotcha. So yeah, no, she runs a radio drama called Sonic and Tails R, and I just recently checked out the first season. Guys, it is peak fiction. Okay, it's not like a for kids or dark era type story like what we've been talking about today, but it is such a good series, guys. I've never watched a radio drama in my life. I'm not really into. I like having visuals with the thing I'm watching, or like at the very least a scripted detail, but like just hearing people talk and hearing sound effects. I like when I first loaded up the series, I was like, I'm not sure if this is for me. But no, the series was that good to be like, yeah, no, this fucking rocks. And guys, she brings back so much voice talent. I'm gonna try not to fanboy hard, okay? But listening to that series, guys, she brings back Ryan Drummond as Sonic. She voices Tails. She brings back Jason Griffith as Shadow. She brings back the dude who played Silver. She brings back Lisa Ortiz who played Amy in the Four Kids of Sonic. She brings back she has Mike Pollock play Eggman. She has so much voice talent carried over in that series, and it is crazy. And like there's like vocal tracks there. There's so much fan service. It is awesome. So if any of you are remotely interested, go and check it out. Okay, like what Gamebox said, Emu. It has EMUEMI. Search that up. Go to the channel. Check out Sonic and Tails art. It is so good. And obviously, if you have a decent PC that can run it, go to GameSalt.com and download Sonic Omens and play because you're gonna love the story. So yeah, no, that's pretty much all I had to say. Anything you want to add, Gamebox?
No, not really. I've pretty much just covered everything.
Okay, sick. And you know what, guys? You know what that means? That means you have sat through another episode of Let's Talk Sonic. And I don't know how you're still with us. But here we are. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this little podcast we're doing. And I hope you guys are too. If you guys have any feedback or suggestions of like how we could run this or like anything you want to see or any topics you want to discuss, let us know in the comments because that'd be really awesome. But yeah, no. I that pretty much wraps it up. So, GameBox, what are your final thoughts of everything we talked about today?
Honestly, all the topics we discussed, I really loved talking about them, especially the last topic, speaking about favorite Sonic projects and stuff, because, yeah, just those two projects alone. love them to bits. And yeah, having a bit of a laugh, joking around was really, really fun. I enjoyed that one.
Oh yeah. Um, yeah, so I guess my final closing thoughts, just in regards to like the main topic in general, there's not really a right way to do a Sonic story, as long as it's good. Lighthearted Sonic stories are fine, dark Sonic stories are fine, Sonic stories in the middle are completely fine. I love this Blue Hedgehog, and I love all of his wacky, crazy, awesome friends, and I love this universe. And it's just really fun to talk about. I'm really curious to see what you guys look forward to in Sonic Stories and what some of your favorites have been. That'd be pretty awesome. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. But anyways, Gamebox, what are you working on? Where can people find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, which is Gamebox. I do have another like user like an at page. Well, not really an at page. Here we go. It's Gamebox282, and right now I am still working on the Sly Box show. Some people have asked. Some people have asked me when it will come out. I don't have a right release date, but you'll just get it once it comes out, pretty much. And that's pretty much all I'm working on. What about you, Sly?
All right, so right now, in regards to Wattpad, I'm still writing the Sonic the Hedgehog story that I've been talking about. I haven't written anything for it recently because I just haven't really had the time, guys, and it's hard. It's hard, still like finding the motivation and maintaining that while you're working on a large project. But eventually, one day I'll finish it. One day I'm just not really working on it like actively right now. But that's pretty much what I'm doing. And in regards to how you can find me, you can find me down below. You can hit the subscribe button, and that's how you can locate me. And you can come kill me for hosting this horrible podcast. Go ahead and hit the notifications bell so you're notified whenever a new upload drops. And do the same thing for Gamebox because he doesn't upload nearly as frequent as I am, so like his thing won't destroy your notifications. And when he does upload, you know you're in for something really good. So yeah, no, is there anything else, Gamebox?
No, not really. Other than please subscribe to me. I need money. My house is about to go broke. Please, I need money. Please, donate to my Patreon.
Yeah, with that said, we will see you guys in the next episode.